говорится, добрый день. Стрим наконец-таки пошел. С вами я, Алексей. Мы продолжаем проходить Deliverance. Ох, да, не могу ничего предвещать на этот выпуск. Надеюсь, все будет по маслу. Никаких проблем не ожидается. Сейчас мы отправимся в лагерь половцев, чтобы добыть 3 комплекта брони половцев. Хотя у меня может быть что при себе. Может и нет. Но в любом случае надо разведать. Кого-то вижу на горизонте. Похоже, мы лагерь зачищали. Ну ладно. Вот, как раз они лежат. Вообще ходить не смогу. Как говорится, почему бы и нет. Скорее сюда. Видите, да? Собрать стрелы, это у нас маловато их будет. Хотя, кого я обманываю? Этих стрел уже ебаных. Поехали, что ли, сдавать его. Будьте комплекты брони. Не спеха, точнее. Заодно скинем хабар. Собраны. Кстати, если кто-нибудь знает, как легко сделать стрелы из подручных средств, пожалуйста, напишите мне в ЛС. Нет, не в игре. Привет, Анджей.
I'm at your service, Sir Knight.
I've got them. 3 full outfits.
What?
Прямо все? Да. Я ему все отдам на самом деле.
Whole bloody lot.
Да, вообще не видит.
Let's see how you look in it. God be
Oh. Is that it? It's a bit...
Ordinary? Are you serious? I got it straight from the fucking humans.
Oh, it's not exactly, terrifying, is it?
It's about as frightening as my aunt's speckled hen.
Доспех.
They just don't look much like a human to me.
Have any of you actually seen a human?
What? Do you mean close up?
Don't be daft.
Miramir's described them many times.
Everyone knows humans are monstrous. They're barbarians. Pagans.
Whereas you look like a little boy playing at soldiers.
And just who the hell is Miramir?
He's a regular in my tavern. He works as a caravan guard, and he knows what he's talking about. He's been
Знает,
eye
о
to
чём
eye with a human, and he's lived to tell the tale. You can ask him yourself.
Nah, what do they know?
Oi, Henry! Take that ridiculous thing off before anyone sees you, eh?
Слишком сложно. У меня же, блин, максимально. Еще не максимально, а высокий уровень взлома. Не важно. И тут есть кузнец какой-нибудь? Не, у них вообще никого нет. Ну ладно. Три шпоры, кожаные перчатки, сапоги, кольчужный койф. Да, да. Еб твою мать, 74 еще лучше, нифига себе. Надо выложить все. Сказать, такая мой капитал в виде вещей. Ничего интересного, в общем, надо все скинуть. Не нужно. Например, вот это. Сохранится. Сеть лесу 90 кусков мяса. Надо, наверное, рта отправиться, да? Да. Добрый путь, как говорится. Е3 пришел уже. Точнее, проходит. Анонсируют новые игрухи. Надеюсь, ему кило мяса пойдет.
Humble greetings. How may I serve?
How does life...
It'd be fine if we didn't have to...
Did you find out what actually...
What do I know? The Lord's ready. Good luck then.
How is it looking with
I've got that meat for you here.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks, Henry. We'll get lots of supplies for this. Another order. The Master Armorer is mounting a banquet, and he wants to serve venison in cream sauce.
Oh, right, I get it. Hunt down a deer, milk a cow, and skim the cream. Wouldn't he like me to churn some butter to cook it in while I'm at it?
Just the venison will do, thanks.
See you later.
Don't you fret.
You'll see. He'll be back in and tell him to call
Have
chaos
pity
as
on me, a
usual.
poor rat.
Кому надо мясо косули? Интересно. 80, ебать, как. Ну да, жестковато. Ладно. Нет, надо быть еще с этим заниматься.
Henry! God's blessing. Take care now.
Как раз ему удастся продать мясца. Нахер мне это мясо осталось вообще не знаю. Окей, так, давайте отправимся уже в Тальнберг. Пока доскочим, там уже третий день настанет. Интересно, можно было бы пройти всю игру, ни разу не выпив? Хоть поколи глаза, ничего не видно.
What happened to you?
God has punished me. That's what happened. Bandits torched my house and murdered my husband.
Убили
And
мужа.
I'm left with nothing but to beg here at the roadside. God have mercy on me. I'd like to bring the children something better to eat than acorns. Haven't you got something for me, sir?
Food?
Ведьмино зелье.
What about this?
Thank you, sir. May God bless you.
Пан рыцарь, блин.
Come on!
God be with you, Henry. God bless you. What troubles you? Take care.
Посплю до 8, наверное. Я слышу ор. Какой-то. Не был мыться где-нибудь. Тут ничего. Отличная закуска, из них мы также можно приготовить река или добавить их в суп.
I've taken care of that camp.
Have you brought me proof?
Да.
Here it is.
Well, that is a fine bit of... Now it seems we can take a bit of a breather. There's no sign of any humans around here. I must say, I'm impressed with the job you've done.
Thank you, Captain.
But it would be a pity to waste your talents. They say the roads aren't safe even by Sazau, or around Skalitz. God preserve us. Over there, the brigands are on the
С
rampage.
брода.
Well, I'll be glad to deal with them.
I don't doubt it. But in Sasau, you'll have to go first to Sir Sebastian. He's the custodian at the Sasau monastery, and in charge of security in that region. He'll tell you where to find him,
Окей.
and I'm sure he'll be glad of a helping hand.
Very well, Captain. I'll head there then.
Идеально круглые камни вытесывают. Все живут своей жизнью, как говорится.
Nice to see you, Henry.
Папа, привет. Вау.
I'm here.
Can't you see we're still bombarding? You came to...
I'd like to improve my...
Certainly.
I'd like to practice the basics.
All right.
Isn't that quite...
Что еще бесплатно? Можно бесплатно?
What about this?
You won't convince me. Agreed. Now... Be a bit more careful.
Прям соскалиться, либо сразу ждем задание. Ну, давайте маскарад сначала пройдем. Даже никто не нападает мне на дороге. Вообще не интересно. Ждет меня, ну окей, ждет. Бежим. Как выглядит настоящий холод? Блять, я их сотнями убил. Ладно. Еще может быть не сотнями.
Fancy throwing a few dice?
Satisfied? Here we are.
To the women! God bless them. I hope I can be of help to you.
They tell me you've seen a lot of humans. They say you'd recognize one even in the dark.
I certainly would. Buy me a drink and I'll tell you stories that will make your hair.
Here you go.
Thanks. What's your name anyway?
That's nothing to you.
Anyway, not long ago, I was escorting a goods caravan all the way from Vienna, when all of a sudden, a terrible storm came down. Hail, lightning, snow, the works.
Snow. In summer.
Don't interrupt. Well, where was I? Oh, that's right, the storm. We straight off the path. Couldn't see the ground beneath our feet. And all of a sudden, we heard singing. In the distance, we saw a fire in the clearing.
Бля, что за
With
ведьма?
malevolent creatures ranged around it, singing demonic songs.
These malevolent creatures didn't mind the snow. Wouldn't they have preferred to sing somewhere warm?
Be quiet. Anyway, as if in a trance, we walked towards the fire. And at that moment, we saw them. Were those hideous creatures monsters or demons, you ask? No. They were humans.
Что за нахуй?
And a bunch of infants.
Чувак обдолбался, походу.
So, someone was feeling the cold. I'd have been shivering too. Snow doesn't do me any good, especially in summer.
And those devilish creatures were drinking the blood of babies and fornicating with she-devils. We stood there paralyzed with fear until I alone, managed to break out of the spell. I can tell you, I never ran so fast in my life. I was the only one to escape. Since that time, I've been able to do nothing but sit here. I can't work since that time.
Боже, какой ужас.
I'm probably still under a
Вот
spell.
мне тоже заклятие наложили, что не мог работать.
Undoubtedly. Probably a spell of laziness. Listen, Millimere, what you just said is complete and utter bollocks from start to finish.
What the hell would you know about it, peasant?
I'm from fucking Skalitz. I watched those bastards butchering my kith and kin with my own eyes.
You might have said that before. I could have saved the yarn for someone who'd appreciate it.
Where did you hear this nonsense? Who's been spreading all these rumours about how frightening the humans look?
Oh, the people from around these parts. Brown, the charcoal burner told me about them. He lives in the woods near here. Then there's Olener, the wife of the Talmberg fisherman. And young Vashek, a stable boy at the stud farm in Ushitz. He saw them too. Oh well.
They say you know about humans.
Fangs. They wear wolves' fangs to make themselves invisible in the dark. And they can creep around like beasts of prey as sneaky as death.
That was quick.
Fangs. God bless.
I want more money for that ring.
And why's that?
Because we're really good mates.
Nice try.
Henry, I'm glad you stopped by.
Как-нибудь поговорим. Точно я буду просто по городам ходить в обмундировании половцев. Там бред какой-то. И что-то не изменится. Что, садили в Талленберг? Надоели уже. Гасит.
God save you, Henry.
Since Sir Divish's colours still aren't flying over Talmberg, I suppose we'll be attacking.
Just so. That Istvran's a stubborn bastard.
All right, when do we start?
There's no reason to wait. Are you really ready? If you need to rest or anything, we can still wait. You won't have another chance until we've won the day. Or until your final rest.
I'm ready.
Мне дел нет.
Glad to hear it. We're going to attack on two fronts. The north gate and the west wall, which will scale with ladders. The attack will be split into different stages. Taking the outer walls, the inner bailey, and finally the core of the castle and the tower.
How are we going to attack the gate?
We'll try to do as much damage as we can with the trebuchet first. Keyser claims he can even hit it directly. Even if that's true, we'll have to charge through a downpour of enemy arrows all the way to the portcullis.
Portcullis?
Fortunately, it's wooden, so we'll be able to break it down. But dealing with the defense in the bailey won't be easy.
And what's the plan for attacking the west wall?
First, we have to get men to the wall with ladders, which is no easy matter under fire, so we'll need as many men covering them as possible. As soon as the ladders are in place, our foot soldiers will run up and try to scale the wall. Once a few of them get to the battlements, we should quickly gain the upper hand.
How will we take the battlement?
Either by scaling the west wall, or our men at the gate will help. If they can break through, that is.
Окей, внутренний двор.
And the inner bailey?
That will be tough. Even if we get through the gate and into the outer bailey, we're still a long way from victory. The castle is designed so we'll be like hens in a coop to anyone with a bow on the inner battlements. We'll have to either fight our way through, or somehow get around them.
What about the living quarters?
There, I'm worried most about the hostages. Once we're inside, Istvan will know defeat is inevitable, but we'll still have to fight for each and every room.
I think I've heard everything I need to know.
Do you want to join the attack on the walls or on the gate? Remember, many of the Skalitz men will follow you. It could make a big difference.
I'll help with the attack on the walls.
I'm proud of you, Henry. You've changed from an insolent pup into a tough, reliable fighter. And as God is my witness, we will kick those whore sons' arses.
A village lad and an old soldier? This man must be shaking in his boots.
If he's not shaking, then he doesn't know what he's got coming. Just one last thing, though. No matter how good the plan is, something always gets fucked up. Keep your eyes open and take advantage of every chance. Help your comrades and don't go rushing in where you're outnumbered. We have to take the castle gradually, one position after another.
I'll remember that.
Да, сейчас зелень хрячусь и пойду всех убью в соло.
Good luck to you, old soldier.
Goodbye.
Блять, я же не сделаю. Мне бы стоило переодеться в тяжелые доспехи. Переодеться или не переодеваться? Вот в чем вопрос. Ладненько, давайте. Почему без него ходил? Без понятия. Ладно, фиг с ним. Либо шапель одеть, не знаю. Хер с ним, с этим шапелем. На них.
Shield, for fuck's sake! Cover yourself!
Окей, давайте полетим наверх. Видали, видали? О, привет, здорово. Че, ты ко мне на стрим пришел, да? Думаешь, что-то интересное показываю? Как говорится, хрен там плавал. Я сейчас буду самогонкой заливаться, прям вот. Вот, буду самогон заливаться буду. Прямо во время стрима. Ну, шучу. Расскажи, как дела? Чего нового? На частной территории? Блять, серьезно, тут штурм идет нахер. Какая частная территория? Пиздец, да? Что за херня? Мясо мясом, но, как говорится... Блядь, где заложники нахер? Может, ты знаешь, а? Напиши в чате, пожалуйста. 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 Черти, блядь, поганые. Что делаем не так, а? По идее, ему пробил плечо, и он целиться вообще не может. Дурак, блин, умри. Я сейчас их не убиваю. Это было будет печально очень. Так. Ядрён бутон, они сейчас все ко мне пойдут. Да, как стреляю скорее. Ваши что на маме, блин. Все, блядь, пора бежать. Невидимые преграды. Ёб твою мать. Так. Вот мы пронесли, а вообще хер знает, что дальше делать. Надо Палестину захватывать. Опять нечестно территория, да серьезно, да? Не то время, чтобы воровать. Кризис в стране. Санные гуки захватили наш замок. Здесь был. Она. Допустим, я здесь не был. Все-таки шапель одеть, вот не знаю. С шапелем просто смотрите, я такой беру. Ладно, не могу, сейчас бой идет. Лучшее время, чтобы мерить новый шмот. Вообще лучше ребята, доспех лучше мочить головой. Твою мать, блядь. Сейчас из кресла выпрыгнет просто. Давай. Рыцарь, блядь, круглого стола. Рыцарь квадратного стола. Можно мне новое звание, да? Бью одного, а да по-другому. Писал, ёб твою мать. Смотрите. У меня есть, конечно, целая куча всяких супер приемов, но, блять, я их не использую, потому что я дурак. Вот, например, вот такой вот. Смотрите. Да ё-моё. Какой ближе ко мне? Вот. Ай, сюда иди. Ой, блядь, сейчас бы залиться чем-нибудь, самогоном, например. Или солониной, блядь, вообще. Взял солонину и пожрал. Просто по голове бьем. Собака. Я могу просто его добивать вечно. Сейчас одного. Так, да. Пока я не сдох. Ага. Она от него отскочила. Что, мы стрелы кончились? Ядрён, в этом какие стрелы кончились. Надежный клинок. Под гроши. Винишка. О, самогон с вином, блять, пиздец. Сейчас замешаем себе адовый коктейль. Ой, о. Отвар из календулы. Раз. Самогон. Нет, давайте собачий. Нет, собачью. Я хочу, короче, нанести яд на свой меч. Почистить меч. Да, вот, сапожник, свои ботинки вонючие. О, да. И меч свой. Так, отвар календулы я закинул, значит надо сейчас еще что-нибудь примочки. Там у меня все кончилось, да. Сейчас на территории. Твою. Да, мы здесь уже были, сейчас. Я выше тебя. Испугался? Вот это. Ладно, давайте уходим, потому что реально это... Я ж сам устал. Давай, 1 на 1. Дар милосердия, то что ему валяться, истекать кровью. Да можно сразу же так мгновенно умереть. Так, 1 есть. Еще осталось... Это наш. Я хуй знает. Что делал тяжелый доспех? Сейчас бы просто бы ловил все плюхи. Да блять. Я выше вас всех. Далеко мочит. Просто реально адовый замес. Я пока помоюсь. С головой. Ты вонючим пиздец с головой. С мужиками какими-то вообще. Нонсенс. Он пару штук осталось. Яу! Егор прям. Слава тебе, Господи, блядь. Господи Иисусе, как говорится. Прям классик. О, боже. Штурмует сортир.
Sir, we should give the order.
Let's see if Istvan Toth can worm his way out of this one. Don't tempt fate, Hamish. Istvan! It's over! You want us to come and get you?
I wouldn't advise that. Your friend Divish wants to see his wife alive again.
And Sir Radzig? Are both hostages unharmed?
For now, Hanush, unless circumstances change.
Well, I'm glad to hear it. My guest is also safe and sound, but he's also quite keen to go home. I imagine you feel the same way. It's been a long time since you warmed yourself at your own hearth.
I'm in no hurry. I've plenty of supplies here, grand view and excellent company. What more could I want?
Your freedom!
Freedom? Freedom to get an arrow in the back?
Sir, you're all noblemen here. All bound by honor. I give you my word as a knight and lord, and that of my companions. If you release Lady Stephanie and Sir Radzig, you may leave the castle with your men and go on your way unharmed.
And just how far will we get? What good will it do me if your men attack us in the woods instead of here?
If you give me your word of honor that you will leave and never return, I promise you safe passage to the boundary of this fiefdom. What happens after that is up to you and the will of God Almighty.
Very well then, but I want a small safeguard. I'll give you her ladyship, but Radzig comes with me. I'll release him in Skalitz.
Out of the question! Is our word not good enough for you?
Is mine not good enough for you? I swear I'll release him when I get to a safe distance.
I'll go with him, Hanush. Let the Lady Stephanie have her freedom now.
Father!
Don't worry, son. I trust Lord Toth's self-interest more than his word. He wouldn't be fool enough to harm me.
If you're certain, Radzig.
Prepare horses and supplies, and tell your men to pull back. We'll come down.
You heard him. Get to work. And any man who breaks this truce answers to me.
So are you really going to let them go?
My word is my bond, Henry.
He's a cutthroat and a liar. Good men are dead because of him. What's to stop us from skewering him as soon as he sets foot outside?
Our honor!
If you let him go, he'll do the same again. Or worse.
God's justice will find him. Then, you get a taste of my mace.
If we break our word of honor, we have none. And without honor, we are nothing.
Рыцари.
Never fear. Your father will be all right.
We'll hunt down this vermin yet.
Bring the horses.
Here she is, as I promised. Not a hair on her head harmed.
Divish!
Stephanie.
Forgive me, husband. I'm sorry.
For what?
For letting them into the castle.
Come now, my dear. You're not to blame.
I didn't know who he was. He said he was your friend.
Never mind. Did he hurt you?
No.
Заплюхал.
I hope your word can be trusted.
Certainly more than yours.
If everything goes as agreed, I'll set Radzig free in Skalitz. If anyone tries to follow us, I'll kill him.
We won't.
My apologies for keeping you from your father, but you'll see each other soon enough. Oh, I almost forgot. Your
Меч.
sword. I expect you'll want it back after all the trouble you went to. Actually, you know what? I think I'll keep it. As a memento.
This isn't over. I'll find you.
I look forward to it. Yeah!
Quick! To the battlements! We have to see which way they go! Oh, they really are heading for Skalitz. Mount up, Henry. You've heard what he'll do if we follow them. We're not going to follow them. We just have to collect your father. Or do you want him to walk back here when they release him?
Это правда. Пешком, что ли, идти? Скалиться. Хотя там коня можно найти, наверное. Ой, бать, консоль порвался. Вот починить. Точнее зашить. Доспехи, надо снять эту штуку. Кожаный ублюдок. Такс. Чё? До сих пор коняша не поменял. Ну, тот купить.
What should I say to him?
Don't worry. It'll come to you. You'll see.
Well, I just hope he'll be...
Противотанк, блин.
This is quite a turnaround, isn't it?
What do you mean?
How long have we known each other? A few weeks?
Something like that.
Before that, I was chasing wenches around Rattay and you were digging turnips. And now look at us. A pair of veterans.
Закаленные вояки.
I was an apprentice blacksmith, not a turnip digger.
Какая разница?
Same difference, you silly bugger.
Чувак, ты не можешь головку
What do you
напихать?
think? Will Toth keep his word?
He's a noble, right?
Yes. So am I.
So Radzig will be there.
The way you found Toth, sneaking into Brannick all on your own. Well, what I mean is, hats off to you, Hal. You wouldn't catch me doing that.
Truth is, I didn't think much about it. I just felt I had to do it. What will you do now?
Not long ago, I only made plans 3 days ahead at most. Maybe I really could do something for Rattay and its people.
Сейчас засада будет, вообще будет бар. Хотя... Я-то не знаю.
There's no sign of them. Move on.
Закаленные вояки.
There! I'm glad to see Istvan kept his word, sir.
Not half as glad as I am, Your Grace.
Well, we kept our word too. And now Toth has had his head start and he's fair game. Which way do they go?
To the north, but I would be careful, Sir Hans.
Fear not, Your Grace. I have twice as many men as he. Well, I won't keep you any longer. I'm sure the two of you have a lot to say to each other. Let's go!
You alright, Father?
I am. They treated me quite decently. Although they did steal my horse, so I'll have to go back on foot.
Батя. Батя кобыла. Понравится кобыла.
Looks like it's all over.
Not by a long shot. It won't be over until we get this mess cleared up.
Catch that bastard. How could we let him go?
Would you rather we killed him? Even if it meant Lady Stephanie and I died too?
Of course not. But what was to stop us from killing him after the exchange?
Honor?
honor?
If the word of honor of a nobleman could not be trusted, then he would never have agreed to the exchange.
Where's the honor in abandoning your son?
You know how it is. You were young. It happened.
Я не мог, да.
And I couldn't marry a commoner. Then your father, Martin, came along and took care of both of you.
He knew it.
What? But I was your father? Certainly. He was a great man. He took you as his own. And always kept an eye on you.
Сейчас
That you
заплачу.
can be sure.
I know so little about his past.
He told you nothing. Oddly enough, even though you don't have his blood, you're very like him. When he was around your age, he became bored of his trade and set out to see the world. He lived through many adventures, even fought in a war.
In a war?
Yes, in Poland, I believe.
Польша.
And I don't think he cared much for it.
That's why he wanted me to stay at home.
He spent some time in Prague, then settled in Kuttenberg. But it seems he quarreled with someone there and finally ended up here. You know the rest.
I loved him, but even so, I somehow always had a feeling I didn't quite fit in.
It was in your blood, I suppose.
I lost the one thing I had left from him. Your sword.
Ah. The sword. It's not my sword. It's yours. For a moment there it was so near, yet so far. Oh well, it can't be helped.
It was almost within my grasp, but just then I had something else on my mind.
Well, I think we may yet have a chance to get it back. This business with Toth is not yet over, unfortunately.
That's a chance I'd welcome. Not just to get the sword, but that bastard Istvan too. And then I'll find that German whoreson who torched Skalitz, and I'll slay him with it. I'll never forget his face.
Это был Сигизмунд, если чё.
Or his name. Mark Vart von Aulitz.
Those are noble intentions, son.
Точнее, не
But don't
сам, а его
forget there are
люди.
other things in this world that are worth living for.
Like what?
Look around you. Blue skies overhead, green grass underfoot, beautiful girls. Good wine, a few good friends, and a fine steed under your backside. Those are things worth living for. Though I can't deny that swine who killed your mother must pay for what he did. It's better not to dwell too much on that, at the cost of those other things.
Я ж свой сын кузнеца.
On the subject of steeds, I think we'll have to ride like the Knights Templar.
How's that?
2 up. One day I'll tell you how they got their seal. You can take the front. It's like I always imagined it would be, teaching my boy to ride. Although it would be better if you were a little smaller. My word, it's all go today, isn't it? I wonder who this is.
I think I know. It's Margrave Jobst.
The king's cousin? I wonder what he wants. I guess we'll find out soon enough.
Что, блядь, это я... Охуеть, блядь, 28 серий я заснял... Вот... Я думал, что такая Midnight, такой адский пиздец начнется там. Ну да, я, конечно, историю читал, но, блядь, ну я думал, там они что-нибудь изменят. Охуенно. Я вот думаю, можно нам пройти так по фасту, как говорится, как, блять, как называется? Спидраном. Бля, это еще не конец. Ну тогда сори.
Doing well, son.
Father. Come now. You know who sired you. That doesn't matter now. I miss you, Amar.
Пиздец, это как в Star Wars.
I miss you very much.
You'll be fine.
We're proud of you. For what? I let you down. I lost the sword. Let that bastard get away.
Don't be so hard on yourself. There was nothing you could have done to save us. And someone has to live and carry the torch. As for the sword, it's just a thing.
You didn't want me fighting.
Now look at me. Standing up to evil isn't the same as sowing its seeds. You did what was right. I have to leave you now.
Oh, please.
You know I can't stay.
Will I ever see you again?
God knows.
Я не понимаю, что за трипы.
Make her proud.
Oh, don't go. No.
What on earth were you dreaming about? I couldn't wake you, and it's well past dawn. Sir Radzik wants you at the upper castle. The lords are in council with Jobst.
Right. I'll go straight away. What is it?
It's just... I don't know how to address you anymore. All of a sudden you're Sir Radzig's son, hobnobbing with lords and ladies. And here's me, as common as muck.
Oh, give over, you idiot. Do I look like a lord to you?
Not really. You're as much a lord as I am a nun. And I've never looked good in a habit.
Get out of here! Or I'll have you clapped in the stocks.
Блять, охуенно. Это же было, это уже конец был. Так и живем в мире полного лжи и обмана. Ну раз эпилог, то эпилог, как говорится. Надо к партняшке
Be a bit
зайти.
more careful. Look where you're going.
What is it?
Умыться немножечко и заскочить к партняшке. Партняшки, почините свои шмотки.
God bless.
God be with you. God be with you. Good luck to you.
Can we do something about...
We agree. You're a
Ебать, вообще-то я сын пана Рацига кобылы.
See, now I knew it.
Ну я не вор.
God save you.
Это... Ну, пофиг. Я в воде застрял, прикиньте. Как говорится, концы с концами. Бух! Аж ноги к небу запрокинулись.
Ah, Hal. Are you going to the meeting with Margrave Jobst as well?
I am. What about Istvan? I assume...
That we didn't catch him? No. Because if we had, you'd be the first one to know. Have no fear. We'll get him eventually.
I hope you're right. Anyway, let's go and see what Jobst wants from us.
My lords, Christ's blessings on you all.
And on you, Lord Gapen.
And this is my son, Henry.
I didn't know you had a son, Sir Redzig.
Came as a bit of a surprise to young Henry, too.
This gentleman here is John II of Liechtenstein, a member of my council.
I'm honored, gentlemen.
Come join us. Margrave Jobst was just about to tell us the reason for his visit. Your Grace?
I'm sure we're all agreed, Your Graces, that all this unrest must come to an end. This kingdom needs a king.
Question is, which king?
My cousin, Wenceslas IV, who is being held in captivity.
I have to confess, my lord, that your answer surprises me a little. If I'm correctly informed, until recently you sided with your other cousin, Sigismund.
That I cannot deny, and I have always stated my position plainly. But times have changed.
How have they changed, Your Grace?
Sir, there is one thing on which we undoubtedly concur. That King Wenceslas, unfortunately, did not inherit his father's gift for governing. Sadly, his failures have cost Bohemia, the nobles, and our whole Luxembourg family a great deal of money and effort.
How did the king let it go so far, damn it?
It's in his temperament. He cares only for wine, women, and the hunt. A king, in fact, who never wanted to be king.
Then why didn't he just let his brother have the crown?
Young sir, the crown weighs heavy when there are duties to be performed, but to surrender it means giving up great privileges too.
But he did surrender power to his brother. When things started getting out of hand, Wenceslas appealed to Sigismund for help in restoring order.
What, you're saying Wenceslas invited him here?
This is starting to make my head spin.
Actually, it makes sense when you think about it. Sigismund wanted to re-establish the power of the whole House of Luxembourg. He thought if he helped Wenceslas win the imperial crown, in return his brother would help him become the king of the Romans, and leave the actual reign of Bohemia and the empire to him. Sigismund would govern, while Wenceslas could carry on doing what he was best at, enjoying the life of the imperial court.
Why wasn't Wenceslas crowned Holy Roman Emperor long ago? He was already elected king of the Romans. All he had to do was go and let the Pope put the damn imperial crown on his head.
Who knows? Maybe he'd prefer hunting and consorting with bathhouse wenches to spending time with the Pope.
Well, so would I must admit.
Sigismund's plan seemed sound enough, but it didn't quite work out, did it?
It worked for a while. He and his brother reached an agreement. Sigismund took over administration of the kingdom and began planning Wenceslas's journey to Rome for the imperial coronation. But then Wenceslas realized he would just be a puppet with a crown.
I must say, Margrave Jobst, Wenceslas and Prokop behave rather like naughty children in need of a good clout about the ears.
Sigismund would agree. He was already planning his rule of Bohemia, and all of a sudden, the rug was pulled from under him. I'd say he lost his patience and decided he'd drag Wenceslas to the coronation kicking and screaming if he had to. Just like a naughty child, as you say.
So he abducted him and your brother Prokop too, if I heard correctly.
Correct.
And you helped him do it, if I heard correctly.
Yes, your graces, it's true. I was there when Sigismund abducted Prokop. I thought everything could somehow be settled, that we could make my brother see sense. But Sigismund just wanted to put an end to the dispute once and for all, whatever the cost. There was nothing I could do to stop him. And that's one of the reasons why I'm here. The worst of it is that it was all for nothing. Instead of putting a stop to the revolt, it escalated it, and the result is this chaos we have today.
That's true enough, sir. But I must admit now, I'm not sure what your position is. The king is incompetent, but we must protect him?
The simple truth, gentlemen, is that for all of Wenceslas's faults, we have no one else.
So we'll have to make do with his idleness.
People like him, though.
But what can we do now? Sigismund has the League of Lords behind him. Otto von Bergolf, Heinrich von Rosenberg.
The situation has gotten completely out of control. Now even the nobles of the League of Lords are realizing that Sigismund wasn't the right choice.
So now Bergolf is on your side. Are we to assemble an army together with him and face Sigismund on the field of battle?
We're not in Hungary now. Such affairs may be settled elegantly, without unnecessary hostilities or expenses. I have negotiated an alliance with the Hungarian bishops, the Polish, and of course the Czech nobility, against Sigismund. Every day he is losing the ground under his feet, and that's why I need your help too.
What kind of help, though? Sigismund has a massive army, and Rosenberg, Berghoff, and Prague are behind him. Do you have an army you could face him with?
But that's not what I mean at all. There's been a revolt against Sigismund in Hungary, partly due to my efforts, and now he'll have to choose whether he wants to gain the Bohemian crown, which is a very risky enterprise, or hold on to the Hungarian one. He can't have both. And there's a tough struggle awaiting him in Hungary. I'm not sure he'll win, and Rosenberg and Berghoff know it too. They're not stupid. If the Bohemian nobility stands together, they will turn.
We are men of little consequence, Margrave. Radzig here lost everything because of his alliance with Wenceslas. Sir Divish came within a hair of the same fate. Even Rattay is defenseless against Sigismund and the League of Lords.
What's more, Your Grace, King Wenceslas languishes in captivity in Vienna. He can't rule too well from there.
And what do you propose? To sit with your arms folded till the Bohemian lands are turned to ashes like Skalitz? We have to put a stop to this senseless war!
And do you know, sir, what the true position of the League of Lords is?
I'm not on the best of terms with them at this moment, so you'll have to ask them yourselves.
Yes. Why not? I'll go and visit Berghoff at his castle and we'll see what he tells me.
You know, that's not such a bad idea, young sir.
True. Though a little risky.
I doubt Berghoff would harm a blue-blooded envoy. And you can find out what he has to say about developments and what the League of Lords is planning. Then we'll decide what to do next.
I'll help you compose a letter to him.
I'd like Henry to come with me.
Why not? He's proven himself an able investigator, and he'll also be a good bodyguard if anything should happen.
And I'll send Sir John here to Kuttenberg to be my eyes and ears there. I believe both your reports will help us get a better grip on the situation.
When can you set out?
Just as soon as I've packed my things.
Excellent. Margrave Jobst and I will draft a letter. Get ready, and we'll meet back here.
I expect it would be best to write it in your name as Lord of Lipa.
Quite so, Margrave.
What exactly am I to ask?
Скрыть ли замок?
So what do you think of it all, Sir Divish? So, it looks like you're off on a mission.
Yes. I can't wait.
I don't want to dampen your spirits, my boy, but watch out. These are evil times, and who knows what can happen along the way. Not to mention that Berghoff is no saint.
Don't worry.
I know. You've shown you can fend for yourself, but do take care. You'll be traveling as Lord Capon's bodyguard. You'll be there to make sure nothing untoward happens to him. Keep your eyes peeled and your ears wide open. What Berghoff tells you is one thing, but what you see may be quite another.
Rest assured, Father.
And don't get embroiled in anything else. Just hand over the letter, hear out his reply, and return.
Yes.
Very well. Berghoff is at Trotsky Castle. I think you'll find it quite an eye-opener. It's one of the finest castles in the land. It's 3 days' ride from here, so unless you hit a snag along the way, you'll be back soon enough. Any questions?
I'm getting a bit lost in the Luxembourg lineage. It all seems a bit too tangled.
The Luxembourgs have ruled the Empire and Bohemia for almost 100 years now. Emperor Charles brought this land to prominence. When he was in power, things had never been so good. Wenceslas and Sigismund are his sons, but by different mothers. Jobst and Prokop are their cousins. They were entrusted with governing Moravia, but instead, they've been in a bitter armed feud for years, and now Sigismund's fallen out with Wenceslas. Wenceslas also had another brother, the youngest, John of Görlitz, who was most probably poisoned. They seem like a hot-blooded lot. It's hard to keep up with their affairs, since they tend to change their alliances from one day to the next.
Who is he really, this Jobst?
The cousin of King Wenceslas. He's the Margrave of Moravia. I admit I don't know what to make of him myself. Until recently, he was allied with the League of Lords. For a time, he even served Rupert of the Palatinate against the king, and now suddenly, he's reversed his position. I don't know what led him to do it, and one can't help being suspicious. It's best to keep a watchful eye on him, but he really is the leader of the resistance against Sigismund these days. We'll just have to see how it all turns out.
I'm a bit concerned so many people seem to think so little of King Wenceslas. You knew him, didn't you? What's he really like?
Well, there's no straightforward answer to that question. He certainly makes a great hunting and drinking companion, but he can be very fiery and impetuous when things don't go how he'd like them. He never had much of a head for high office. He finds it tiresome. But once a man's grasped the scepter, it's hard to let it go again. You can't just abscond. You've seen for yourself what happens when he disappears for a few months. Better a bad but legitimate king than a bloody war over the throne.
Who is this Prokop that Job spoke of?
Job's brother, the king's cousin. He and Jops warred over Moravian supremacy for years. Then, they were allies for a while, betrayed Wenceslas and sided with Rupert of the Palatinate. But after Sigismund abducted Wenceslas, Prokop fomented a revolt against him, and Sigismund had him captured. Politics. Make of it what you will. I, for one, can't make head or tail of it most of the time.
The League of Lords and that Berghoff we're off to see. Who are they exactly?
The lords of the powerful houses. Heinrich of Rosenberg, Otto of Berghoff, Heinrich of Radetz, and others. They're unhappy with the way their influence declined after Wenceslas surrounded himself with the lesser orders of nobility. They abducted the king years ago and made him bow to their will. They got away with it that time, and now they've joined forces with Sigismund and done it again. But now it seems that Sigismund's behavior is starting to rub them up the wrong way, so they may well be thinking twice. We'll see what Berghoff has to say.
I don't know all that much about Sigismund.
He's the king's younger brother and king of Hungary in his own right. 7 years ago, he led a crusade against the Turks and was defeated at Nicopolis. Some say it was due to the recklessness of the French knights, most of whom were mercilessly slaughtered. Sigismund is ambitious and capable. He might well make a better ruler than Wenceslas, but he's arrogant, and to our misfortune, brutal. Not long ago, he himself was held captive by the Hungarian nobility. They dislike him as much as some of the Czech and German noblemen do his brother Wenceslas. Ironically, Wenceslas joined forces with Jobst to liberate him, and now this is how Sigismund repays his brother. There's no doubt about it, God does move in mysterious ways.
Rupert of the Palatinate. That's a name I hadn't heard before today.
Rupert is the Prince Elector of the Palatinate.
What's a Prince Elector?
The Prince Electors are dignitaries of the Holy Roman Empire who have the right to elect the King of the Romans, who would then be crowned Holy Roman Emperor by the Pope. Rupert took the title for himself with the help of 3 other Prince Electors, even though Wenceslas had already been appointed. Some of the nobility in the empire recognized Rupert's claim, but when he went to Rome to be crowned emperor, it turned into a fiasco. Now he's doing his utmost to get Wenceslas to acknowledge him, but so far without success. So, now we have 2 kings of the Romans. Jobst sided with Sigismund for a while, but now he's switched allegiance. He seems to do that quite a lot.
That young man, Sir John of Liechtenstein. Why is he here?
The Liechtensteins are a powerful Austrian family, with estates in Austria and Moravia. Sir John sits on Jobst's council. Since the king's being held captive in Vienna, I suppose it makes sense to have a powerful Austrian house as allies. It could be very useful.
That's about all.
Very well. Take the letter from Sir Hanush, and good luck, son.
I believe we have written it well, gentlemen.
Without a doubt. No one could deduce from this whether we are Sigismund's allies or foes.
I must travel back to Brno now, but soon I will go to Brandenburg and I will stop here on the way back. By then, Sir Capon should be back and we can discuss how to proceed.
Right. Before you leave, my lord, there is one thing that gives me no rest. Why did Sigismund come as a foe? It makes no sense.
If I may, sir, I think I can explain.
Oh, please enlighten us, young sir.
I live not far from Hungary, where Sigismund reigns. It is a savage country, and the constant war with the Turks has hardened the people. They need a monarch with an iron hand. So when Sigismund felt the wind of revolt, he reacted as he would at home. Only what works on the Hungarian nobles does not work here in Bohemia.
Bringing order is one thing, but slaughtering and pillaging with a horde of barbarians quite another. What purpose does that serve?
But Sigismund did give the Bohemian nobles a chance to take his side. It was only when they refused his ultimatum that he lost patience and took to the sword.
As for the barbarians, he could afford nothing better. The Hungarian nobility would gain nothing from joining his campaign in Bohemia. He didn't have enough coin for a regular army, and so he recruited the Cumans. What he does not pay them, they make up for in plunder.
But in the end, he didn't have enough to even satisfy the Cumans. That's why he raided Kuttenberg and Skalitz. He wanted the silver.
That makes sense.
My lords, how's the letter coming along?
It's done.
Then we can be on our way.
Now remember what we said, boy. All you have to do is deliver the letter, listen to the answer, and come back here. Don't provoke Berghoff in any way.
Provoke? Me? Never, Uncle. We'll be back in a few days. Farewell, your graces. Come, Henry, my men are waiting.
I wish you Godspeed.
Люди. А в соло никак? Ну, 85 грошей. Ладно, давайте это уже, наверное, завершим в отдельной главе. Спасибо, что смотрели. Подписывайтесь, ставьте лайки. Заходите на Twitch канал. Все, всем спасибо, пока.